Yep. I bet you can hear me now, though. 57 episodes deep, and you think I have it right about now, huh? Let me make sure I get this lab microphone and everything connected here. Go ahead and drag and drop. Let's see here. Looks like we only need one router for this. No. Yeah, one router and a server. So let me let some people straggle in here. We got Superman kicking ass in the building. What's up, Superman? And we got PS in the building. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me today. I'm a little discombobulated, as you can see just now. Getting my microphone. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Sound like the Verizon guy. Go ahead and if you are launching, if you are using Packet Tracer or EVE-NG or GNS3, whatever floats your boat, go ahead and drag and drop a router and a server. So I'm gonna go with I like the 4321 router. Go ahead and drag and drop that bad boy and connect that up to a server. This should be a real quick lab. Notice I don't even have a topology on here. We're just gonna run this in Packet Tracer. Next lab should be pretty quick too. Let me get some water going. Y'all know I get my gallon in a day. As y'all can tell, I'm behind. It's actually 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We typically lab Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we usually knock this out in about an hour. But we're going to do 2 labs. I might want to do even 3 labs today, man, because I want to get through this book and get to the CCNP book. So go ahead and cable these bad boys up. I don't know if we want to wait for some people to come in or whatever. We got Dave W. in the building. What's going on, Dave? Connect that bad boy up just like that. I believe in the book, they got the server on the left-hand side, just like that. Y'all know I like to follow it down to a T. You ain't got to do it just like me, but y'all know I like to follow the book to a T. Yep, that's exactly how he did. So if you know anything about SNMP, SNMP is Simple Network Management Protocol. It's a protocol or language that we use to poll our devices, basically monitor them, right? So anytime something's wrong with the device, or if there's something that basically changes, it'll send what's called a trap to us, let us know, hey, this interface went down, or hey, this power supply went down, or hey, this interface the utilization on it is too high. So, and it uses SNMP to talk to us, right? So, for example, we are going to set up SNMP on, we're going to set it up on this guy, right? And we're going to have the server talk to it. So anytime something's wrong on the router, he's going to let the server know, hey, something's wrong with my interface or whatever. Or my CPU is being overutilized, whatever the case may be, But the language that we use to talk between the server and the client, or the network management system, is the SNMP, like basically SNMP server in this case. The language that we use is called SNMP. Now, there's 3 versions of it, right? There was SNMP version 1, which had a lot of security flaws and vulnerabilities, so they created SNMP version 2. Version 2C, which is what we're going to cover today, actually version 2. And then last week on Thursday, we did SNMP version 3, which is it's probably it's the latest version, and it has authentication, encryption. It's the strongest version, which is why I'm wondering why he has us configuring version 2. I don't know if it's for historical purposes or archival purposes, but he wants us to know about SNMP version 2. If y'all don't know, this is the book I typically use. 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You can copy this from 101labs.net. There should be a link in the description box of this video. It's an affiliate link, so if you get, if you click that link, it'll take you to Amazon and you get a copy of this book. And so I do get commission if you get it that way. So, and it helps out this channel. It motivates me to keep going and record my progress here, right? Because after we wrap up this book, we're going to move on to the CCNP version of this book. And I'm not going to be doing the simple configuring IP addresses and changing host names and stuff like that. We're going to be dealing with more complex topologies rather than just a router and a server. So it's going to have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 devices. And we're going to be configuring BGP and all kind of crazy stuff. So still going to give it a couple minutes for some people to log in. We got Professor Black Ops in the building. What's going on? We are almost up to Section 5 security. Yeah, man, I think maybe about 2 more labs and we're in the security section, right? After these 2 labs right here, we go to implementing QoS, disabling and enabling SSH, performing an iOS upgrade. And then, yeah, we get to the security fundamentals. After that, I think we wrap up the book after that. I don't know. I don't remember, but I didn't go through the whole thing yet. But let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know I like to give it at least 10 minutes before I get started. But let's just wrap this up, man. Let's get through this, man. Task number 1. We got 4 tasks today, right? Actually, let's go over the purpose right here. It's for us to implement SNMP version 2, obviously. Configuring and applying SNMP protocols is a fundamental skill. They just give us some generic ass information. As a Cisco engineer, you must know how to use. You'll be expected to know how to implement. Man, just tell me the thing about this book. They don't give you that much theory. They don't give you any theory. Actually, this is just a hands-on book. You're supposed to read the theory somewhere else, and then practice that theory with this book. And that's the purpose of this book. So it's more of a lab guide. It's not really a theory book like the official cert guides or whatever. So configure host names. So we're gonna go to the router. Hopefully that bad boy is powered on. Let me know what you guys are using in the chat there. Are you guys using EvenG or GNS3? I know Andrit is probably, I haven't seen him in a while. He's like, man, this guy don't use EvenG anymore. I'm like, I ain't fucking with him no more. He's just disappeared, man. So no, we're not gonna do the initial configuration. We're gonna do this on our own, right? Because we're network engineers here, right? We changed the host name to R1. Task 2 was to configure the IP addresses on the gig interface of router 1. So we're going to change the interface that and then enable it, right? So interface, your interfaces might be different. Mine is interface gig 000, IP address of 192.168.1.1, subnet mask of /24.0, no shut to bring them up, right? Let me know if I'm going too fast or if there's anybody got any questions or anything like that. We got some smart people in the chat room if I can't get to it. Task number 3. We got 5 tasks here, right? And one of them is run a show command. So configure an SNMP read-only community named public. Now, if you're new to this concept, this shit sound pretty, how do I say, cryptic. What the hell is he saying here, right? Configure an SNMP read-only community named called public. You sound like you're making a neighborhood, or what is he saying here, right? When he says configure an SNMP read-only, so the thing with SNMP, you not only use this protocol to gather information from a device, right? Like say an interface went down, the device will use SNMP to send us a trap to let us know, hey, this interface went down, right? It used SNMP to do that, right? Well, we can also use SNMP to write to the device. So we can change the host name using SNMP. You know how I changed the host name right here to router 1? Well, we could use SNMP to change the host name using SNMP, right? So we could have done it that way. That would be considered a read-write permission, right? Because not only did we can read from the device, we can also write to the device. Now, when they said in this case, they said for us to configure an SNMP read-only community. Now, when they say community, they really mean password. I don't know why the hell they be trying to trip us up with that, but I don't know. Maybe I need to research that, but community basically means a password. So they want us to set an SNMP password. So when we are going to be reading from this device, we need to know the community or password. Sometimes they call it string or community. So those names are kind of interchangeable. String, community, they're all passwords, right? So, and call it public, capital P. So basically they want us to, so basically what they try to say here is create a read-only password named public with the letter P, right? Simple. Well, that's how I simplified it, right? But they just kind of like, the way they worded it was how it's officially worded. But y'all know I always break it down in layman's terms, right? So we go to global config mode, and any SNMP configurations we do, it's usually done with in Cisco at least, the keywords SNMP-server. So in this case, we go to global config mode, SNMP-server, just like that. And then he said a read-only community. Well, we don't do read-only yet. We do the community. So in this case, we just type in community, question mark. You see it right here. It says you put the word. In this case, the word will be the SNMP community string. You see how see how they worded it differently? The SNMP community, they basically want you to put the SNMP password here. So what's the password? It's the word public with a capital P is what they asked us for, right? In case you guys are just following along, this is the book we use. Again, it is on page number 328, lab number 73. This should be a real quick, simple lab, right? So public, just like that. We question mark for context sensitive help, and it says here, what else do we need here? We could either put RO or RW, right? the book asked us to do read-only community string. So with this community string, we can only gather read-only access. So if you got this password, you can only read from this device. So we can get traps from it. We can get information from the, you know, I don't know, the power supply or whatever, any component, any environmental components of the device. We can use it using this password, public, capital P, right? But read-only access to it. So in this case, RO, tab over RO, and we question mark here, it says CR, which means cameras return. We can't type anything else. That's all they wanted us to do anyway. We press enter, right? Notice we got this log message here, SNMP5 warm start, right? The 5 lets us know it is a, not necessarily informational, but remember it's a level, these levels of logging messages will be from either 0 through a 7. 0 meaning some catastrophic like failure on your device. 7 is like informational, just to let you know. So 5 is a little somewhere below a 7, right? So, and if you want to know those Syslog messages, we'll go over that actually in the next lab. So because we are doing Syslog, and it's a warm start. I think, does that mean? Yeah, they just basically mean they just started the SNMP agent. So it's kind of like the software that's running SNMP. On host 1 is undergoing a warm start. So we did that. On the same task 3 says to configure an SNMP read-write community called private. So basically the same thing we did here, but we are going to give it read-write access using a different password. So in this case, SNMP server, community, and he said the password was going to be, or community, private, capital P, question mark, and it says, was it read-only or read-write? They said read-write, so RW. Question mark, CR means cash return. Ain't nothing else to type here. Press enter. We control Z to get back out of that. And that was it for task 3. Task 4 says to configure a standard ACL. No, I'm not talking about the part in your ankle or your knee or whatever. ACL stands for access control list. Number 10, and add it to the SNMP private community to allow SNMP access from server 1 only. A lot to digest there, right? Let me see. I've been ignoring y'all for a second there. My bad. Salute to the chat. Yeah, appreciate that, Professor Black Ops. Pete said he's been using Eve and G, but the only Cisco images I have are the free Dynamics one. I might to buy Boston NetSim too. It's funny you said that, Pete, because I was just on a Boston NetSim website today, taking a look at the CCNP products they have. Because once we're done with this book, like I said, I'm going to create a whole study schedule for all of us and stuff like that. And we're going to be going hardcore, and we're going to be going ham on the CCNP studies and stuff like that. So he said, yeah, community string. Yeah, it basically means password. So, but yeah, and like I said, I've been trying to get a promotional copy from Boston NetSim. We got Lee McMillan in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah, I want to get a promotional copy from them so that way I can at least do a giveaway once I reach a certain amount of subscribers. And appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. So I will do a giveaway pretty soon. So anyway, yeah, that was a lot to digest for task 4. He said configure a standard ACL, right? We could do either a standard ACL or an extended ACL. Standard meaning we are going to look at just the source of where it came from, right? Extended checks the source and the destination. Well, in this case, we're checking just the source. Configure a standard ACL. So we go to global config mode, and we say access list like this, and you question mark it. It says you can either do standard. If you do standard, it'll be 1 through 99, or extended 100 through 199. There's actually more than this, but this is packet tracer. Remember, this is a limited application. You can do like 26.99. There's more you can do here, but remember, packet tracer is limited to their commands. They said the number 10, which lets us know it's what? Standard, right? Because 10 comes between 1 through 99. I know y'all could do some math here, right? What else would we do here after that? Deny, permit, or remark. It says here, the key word here says to configure a standard ACL to allow. So in this case, the key word would be permit, right? That's what the kind of like the key word lets us know. What do we want to do? Are we denying something? Are we permitting something? Or just creating a remark? Remark is just like a comment to let us know, because we can have all these crazy configuration for access control lists, and we don't know what the hell they mean. The remark will kind of like give us a label for it. That's what a remark is. Then add it. Okay, so we said to create that standard control list. add it to the SNMP private community, which is the one we created here. Then he said to allow SNMP access from server 1 only. Well, server 1, we didn't give him an access, an IP address yet, but let's give him one anyway. Another thing I don't really about this book is because there's not much we can do. We're gonna do on the lab on the server, but the address in the book says the IP address for the book. The IP address for the server in the book is 192.168.1.2. Fat Finger Squad. Tab over. Right, so he's 1.2. I'll even give y'all a label. So in case somebody's just tuning in. Where the labels at? Where the labels at? Where they at though? Where they at though? Y'all know I haven't been using 192. There we go. Boom. 192.168.1.2. So we're going to allow this server to get read and write access, right? Yes, read and write access to this router. Now they want us to create an access control list to allow just him. So we started it, and now we put permit. Are we going to allow any host, the address to match, or just a host, a single host? Well, in this case we only got one host, so we'll just put the keyword host. We'll make sure we get it correct this time, because last time, I believe it was Thursday, we permitted a whole subnet, right? Until my man Kelvin chimed in the chat and be like, hey, you allowing the whole subnet with that access control list, aren't you? Well, that's what we got to do. If we're going to allow just one host on our access control list, we put the keyword host. We can do the address to match, just the address, but we got to make sure that the wildcard mask will be all zeros. So we got two ways to do just allow one host. We're just going to use the host keyword in this case, right? So permit host 192.168.1.2. and then press enter. So we're allowing just that guy right there, right? Show access control lists, and we are correct there. Now, here's the tricky part for task 4. They want us to take this access control list and apply it to this community string, right? Because this community string, we're allowing anybody who has this password read and write access to it. Now, I don't know if Packet Tracer will allow us to use this community string in conjunction with an access control list. So let me see. Because remember, Packet Tracer is limited to what you can do. So we're going to go to config mode. We are going to say, we basically got to write that over again. We basically got to write this over again. So SNMP community, so SNMP server rather, right? SNMP server, we say community. The community was private, right? Because he said here to add it to the SNMP private community to allow SNMP access from server 1 only. That guy right there, right? Private, and then we question mark, we'll see read write, right? Because that's what it was, right? Read write. Let me make sure. SNMP private community was read write. Yeah, read write access. Question mark. You can't even do it on this. You can't even do it on this, because typically on a real, matter of fact, I got a real router here, and I can show y'all. This is why I like using hardware. I keep telling y'all this, man. I'm not telling y'all to go buy, 500 used routers like me, but Packet Tracer is limited with what you can do, right? You see how I put a question mark there? It says, oh, there's nothing else you can do, right? Carriage return. So let's put this same exact configuration here, right? Boom. I'm going to put it in this real router right here, right? I got it fired up here. We'll go to global config mode, like this right here, question mark, and notice I can apply an access control list. What was the access control list we made? It was access control list number 10. So now I can put in the 10 right here to allow just this server here. Now, see, that's why I don't really like this lab, because, well, it's not that. It's Packet Tracer, again, is limited with its commands. There's only so much you can do. See, notice I could not use an access control list in conjunction with an SNMP community string. So hopefully you guys are using EVE-NG or GNS3 or some sort of emulator that allows you to do things like this. But yeah, that is the reason why I don't fuck with Packet Tracer like that. So, but it's all good though. Task 5 was to run the show SNMP community command and make sure that the right communities are created and that access control list 10 is being used in the appropriate community. I think this was the other reason why too. I shouldn't have used Packet Tracer for this lab. So we run this command. They said to run the show command show SNMP community, right? We do that, show SNMP question mark. You can't even put the word community. It's like, you can't type in community there. Remember, Packet Tracer is a simulator, not an emulator. So we type in community, and you can't even do that, right? But you can do it on the real router. And this is what we should have seen, right? Show SNMP community, just like this right here. And we'll see the community that we created. But in my case, remember, I created the community string that on this device here. But then the access control list, this is what we should have seen. We should have seen, yeah, there it is right there, private. And it's applied to the access control list number 10. So that's exactly what we should have seen. But I think that's pretty much it, man, for that lab. Again, version 2 is not as secure as version 3. You want to use SNMP version 3. You should be shot if you're using SNMP version 4. I mean, version 1. There's a lot of flaws in it and a lot of vulnerabilities. I don't even want to bring that up. Let me not do that. But anyways, SNMP version 3 is the latest version, and that is what you want to use when you are running that protocol. So let's take a look at some questions that you may get asked. Well, not necessarily some questions, but just some fun facts. SNMP version 3 versus version 2. There's actually 2C versus 1. And the main differences, let's take a look at them real quick. And then we'll move on to the next lab, which is page number 331, lab number 74. Let me look at the book here. That was it for that lab. Yeah, that was it for that lab. Next lab has only, how many tasks here? 4 tasks. So I'll give you a couple minutes to take a break. If y'all want to take a break, it will knock that one out. Or you can stick around and let's just look at some comparison here. So here are the SNMP comparisons right here. Y'all give me a second here. And y'all notice I didn't talk about OIDs or anything like that, or MIBs or anything like that. If you want a little further more information, I do have some tutorials deep in the archives of my channel. And I talked about SNMP traps and gets and network management systems, the SNMP agent, all of that stuff. So remember, these live labs, we're just kind of like doing hands-on stuff. So I wanted to show y'all the chart comparison between the different versions of SNMP. Again, SNMP version 3 is what you want to use. If I could find that. Where they at though? Y'all got any questions or anything like that? We got Adam Dean in the building. What's going on, Adam? Adam, we just wrapped up the SNMP version 2 lab. Yes, version 2. You read that correctly. And now we're going to move on to configuring an iOS device logging to a Syslog server. Now for this lab, I think I'm going to go ahead and do, let me see. I don't know if you could do some debugging. We'll go ahead and we'll do Packet Tracer again. We'll do Packet Tracer again. If I'm missing a command, I swear that's going to be the last time I use Packet Tracer for these live labs, man. But anyways, for that lab, we're only going to need a server, a router, and a switch. So I'll get to that in a second. But what I wanted to do was bring up something that is going to compare the 3 versions of SNMP. Remember, there's version 1, version 2C. I guess we can look at the Wikipedia for it. Anybody know some fun facts about SNMP? SNMP? What I guess encryption they support? The type of authentication, etc. If anybody want to put in some fun facts in the chat so that way we all know. Is it a UDP or is it a TCP protocol? What does that fall under? It uses port number 161 and 162. I believe one is for sending traps and one is for, oh no, they're all traps. So there's a secure SNMP. We'll get started on the next lab in just a minute here. Version 1 and version 2 had interoperability. Question, it's not about SNMP. It's all good. What is your question, Adam? I don't know the meaning of life. I know what you should do is try to find your purpose. Here we go. Here's a good comparison chart. Snapping on SNMP. This is from Tech Target. That's a pretty reputable site. I used to look at this a while back. Oh, you got to sign in. Come on, man. You're killing me, man. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this. You full screen that bad boy? Let me bring that over for y'all. Plain text community strings on 1 and 2. Yes. No, on version 1. On version 2 and 3, we started encrypting it. Right? Notice right there it says encrypted traffic. No. Yes, yes. So this is the version 1. Next one is version 2. Next one is version 3. Over. What was your question, Adam? Backwards compatibility between 1 and 2, just like I mentioned before. But SNMP is not backwards compatible, so that's another fun fact. Notice here, the word, look at this, just without even read all of this, right? You see the word keyword susceptible, right? You got yeses on the ones on version 1, and then version 2 is susceptible to brute force and buffer overflow attacks. No for the rest. And SNMP version 3 is not susceptible to any of that shit, right? So this is why you want to upgrade to version 3, more secure. We got here detection of malformed packets. Good stuff for me to know here, man, because when I got hired on as a network engineer for the company I worked for, they had me upgrade all the devices. Yes, they were using version 1, man, to version 3, because obviously for these reasons right here. He said, if you have a trunk on an edge device, such as the PC, and it is on the same native. Okay, you got a curveball right here. Let's see here. You have a trunk on an edge device, such as the PC, and it's on the same native as the trunk. Would the traffic be dropped? Let's see here. So is what on the same native as the trunk? Is the PC on the same native VLAN as the trunk? Would the traffic be dropped? Is that your question? I don't see why you would have a trunk on a edge device though, for one. Unless you got some kind of server and you got, you know, I mean, if you have an edge device, you definitely obviously want to put it as an access port. But would the traffic be dropped? Not too sure, man. Yeah, the PC. Yeah, I mean, typically, yeah, you would definitely put that as an access port for one. You wouldn't. I wouldn't put it on a trunk port. But if it's on the same native VLAN, yeah, why would you even do all of that? What's the? Is this something you designing at work or something, or is this a quiz? Is this a pop quiz, or just for testing purposes? Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm not too sure if that traffic will be dropped, man. But if it's on the same native VLAN, yeah, I'm not too sure, man. I would definitely set it up as an access port, though, man, if you have an end device to it. But anyways, lab number 74. We only need a router, I'm switching a PC. So let's go ahead and drag and drop that bad boy. I'll move this over. Yeah, let me know what you end up doing with that though. Router. Where is the router? Router. I'm gonna use a 4321. Connect that bad boy up to a switch. Where's the switch at? Switch our network devices. You would have thought it would have been in here. Do I need to move this up some? Whoop. There we go. And bring the 29. Nah, let's go with the 3560. Trunks are for routing outside the switch. I would use an access port. I agree, Lee. I agree. I don't know why you would have an edge device connected to a trunk port, man. Unless you have some kind of, I'm not too sure. Never used something like that in production. I think I see what I think there's some purposes where you would have a trunk port. Yeah, nah, man. If you have an edge device like even if it's a server, man, you would have to connect that to an access port, man. So let's bring this is gonna be a Syslog server, so let's go ahead and put in an actual Syslog server in this case. Where are we at here? End devices. We'll go with the server. We'll even turn on the Syslog services. Syslog. It is on by default. Let's cable these bad boys up from 00 to FA02. So from here to the gig 00. My bad. Gig 00. FA02, in this case 102. And then from 03 to the server. So from 03 to the server. Like that there. Scoop these bad boys over. Where we at here? He said here, put the PC's VLAN on the trunk using switch port allowed. Yeah, that's something you can do too. VLAN on the trunk using switch port allowed. Yeah, something you could do as well. But I'm still trying to figure out why you would even have all those VLANs on just that specific interface. But I guess, you know, it depends on how you have it set up. Anywho, this guy's powered on. He should be powered on as well. Probably not. You got to slide the power supply in, right? Yup. Just like that, and he'll power on. We just see some green lights coming on. Probably not because that guy's not powered on. Let's see. There they go. That side's going to turn on. We need to no-shut that interface to turn it up. So task number 1, to configure the host names on router 1 and switch router 3 and switch 1. I don't know why he named him router 3 in the book, but I don't know if he tried to throw us off or what, but this guy's going to be router 3 for some reason. So you guys know how to change the host names, right? If not, then follow along. Click no. Enable global config mode. We said host name is R3. And this guy is going to be switch 1. Go to CLI and then no. Enable. His host name is switch 1. Task number 2. We only got 4 tasks for this lab. Maybe we can knock out a 3rd lab, or maybe a 4th lab, or maybe a 5th lab, because I ain't got shit to do tonight. Task 2. At this stage, we all know by default all interfaces on a Cisco Catalyst switch, I said this a million times, right, are in VLAN 1. Therefore, simply enable interfaces FA02 and 03, which in my case, I got gigabit interfaces, right? As you can see here, gigabit 01, or 102 and 103. He said to enable those interfaces on switch 1, which I think they already are enabled, right? Let's double check though. Show interface status. They are not connected. No, they are connected, and they are connect. That one is not connected because the router is not up. That interface is not up. That's the reason why. And they are all, as you can see, on VLAN 1 right there. By default, right? When they come out the box, they are all in VLAN 1, just like he said. So really, task 2, it wasn't really no task to do there. So task 3 was to configure. Well, here's what we need to do. Let's go to router 3, enable that interface right there, right? That one that's red right there, this guy. So let's bring that up. and bring these guys over. Bloop, bloop. So y'all can see. Interface gig 000. Go shut that bad boy and give him the IP address of what? He was 192. IP address 192.168.254.3. Subnet mask of /24.0. We did no shut it already. Show IP interface brief. Show our work. I was watching this dude that said on David Bomble's channel, the guy that he always be interviewing, he's like this this guy that's been in the field for so long. He's like a CCNA and stuff like that. He's like, man, configuring IP addresses and shit like that, man, like, you need to automate this process, man. And he's so right, man. Y'all know I'll be acting like I've been doing a lot of work here doing it. Man, I didn't do nothing, man. All I did was just type these IP addresses, man. So we need to get past these tasks here. Task 3 was to configure router 3, which is this guy right here, to send syslog messages up to level 7. So syslog messages to this guy right here, up to level 7 to the syslog server, which is 192.168.254.254. We didn't set his IP address yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Configure FA00 interface. We'll give him the IP address of 192.168.254.254. Right? So that's his IP address. Now we need to set this router to send those syslog messages up to level 7. Now, I don't know if Packet Tracer is going to support this command, but we do know that we need to go to global config mode, and logging is the keyword when it comes to syslogging, right? We question mark for context sensitive help. It says here, what is the IP address of the logging host? That's what we're going to need, right? Right? That's who we're going to send our log messages to. So anytime something happens and we have some kind of log that we need to send, we're going to send it to our syslog server, this guy right here. But we need to point it to him by putting his IP address. What is the IP address? We said it 192.168.254.254. But we also said up to level 7 messages. Now, I don't know if this supports that. Now, if you know anything about logging, we said, hold on, he said, so a log message can be from anywhere between level 0 to level 7, right? 0 meaning it's catastrophic, sound the alarm, call the police, like the server that went down kind of thing, right? Anytime we have a level 0 message on our router or our switch or our networking device, then this just like call the police, call 911, right? Level 7 is just informational messages, right? So it's just letting you know, hey, you know, just to let you know, I don't know, like somebody logged onto this device or somebody put in the wrong password, you know, trying to get into your device. That would be, I believe, level 6 message. Now, let me just real quick show y'all what the level messages are, or log messages are, or log levels rather. And they're called the severity levels. So let's let's pull them up real quick if y'all know what they are, right? Logging severity levels, Cisco. There they go, right there. There they go. And I'm gonna bring them up just so y'all can see, just for informational purposes, right? And then I'll even put this in the group chat for y'all real quick. But the login messages are as follows: 0, emergency, system's unstable. That's kind of like, man, the system just froze up or something. Like you click debug, you type debug IP packet on a production router that serves, you know, 100 BGP routes and stuff like that or whatever. 1 will be an alert, immediate action needed, blah, 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 right? Level 7 is not on here, so we need to click more items to see the rest of them. And I'll even put this in the group chat for y'all, just so y'all can reference it later on tonight. Boop. Boop. And they still talk about the native VLAN stuff over there. But anyways, yeah, logging. Level 7 is debugging. Appears on debugging only, right? So these are the logging severity levels, right? So this was the command that we was looking for: logging level, and then the name of and then how much we want to allow, right? So in this case, we cannot do it on Packet Tracer, as you can see. See, we would have to put the level keyword to put up to. So anything higher than. So in this case, we're just allowing just level 7 messages to be logged, right? So to enable logging messages from a defined facility that has a specified severity level or higher. So if you set it to level 3, then we're just going to allow these guys in, right? So We're going to log to that guy, right? If we do logging, we do level. You can't even do that. See there? You can't even do that. Or let's see, trap. Set the log server logging level. Trap. Debugging. There we go. That's what you needed. See? So, and then right now, I believe the default is 7. Let's see. We question mark for content sensitive help. And that's it. That's all you can do here. Because it's packet tracer. Let's see what happens if you do it on a real router. Good thing I have a real router powered on here. We'll go to global config mode and say logging, trap, question mark, right? And we'll see, we can set levels right there. See there? You do logging trap on here. You can only do debugging, which is level 7, right? Right? You see that? 7, debugging, right? This is the worst. This is, just to let you know right here. And this is somewhere in the middle, right? We go back to the real router, which is right over here. And these are the severity levels, right? So you can either, I believe, type in the level, or you put in the word of its equivalent level. See there? Does that make any sense? Anybody any questions or anything like that? So anyways, the one that I sent y'all, I believe is for, yeah, see, this is for NXOS. We are not using Nexus. This is for Nexus switches. So that's a bit different. So, anywho, in this case, they did say level 7, so we do trap debugging 7. Nope, we got to just do debugging. That's it. That's all we can do. Because they're limited to what we can do there. So, but in this case, what they really wanted was, yeah, it said to send syslog messages levels up to level 7. So in that case, that was correct. So debugging, you can either put the word debugging or put in the word, or put in the number, was it 7? Like that. Then you could do task number 4, which was to verify your syslog configuration on router 3 using the show logging command. So we do show logging right here. Let's go back to the packet tracer, right? And notice now we're starting to log to the host, to this server right here. So now when we do any kind of change, it'll send it over to the syslog server, and we'll see if it even works, right? So we do show logging, see what we got so far, show logging, and we are allowing, that's right there, that's how we verify it. Trap logging, level debugging. We're logging to that server right there. That is the port number we send those messages to. It is UDP port number 514. So far 5 messages we've logged so far, right? If we do show, let's do that again. No, so the way you can send a log is by just doing anything on it. Like let's do this. Let's change the host name, right? We'll go to global config mode. We'll say host name R5. Press enter. Get out of that. That is a log message right there. Level 5 message. When you configure a device, when you get out of global config mode, it'll send a level 5 message. What's level 5? We said level 5 was a notification, normal but significant condition. So if somebody's on this device making changes, right? So let's do a show logging again. It's not being, we're not sending it to us. We're actually sending it to this guy. But I think you have to do date and timestamp to actually see those messages. Where we got to go to? Syslog. There they go. That's the message right there. That's the that is the log we sent right there. See that? We don't have date and time because we haven't set date and time. We can do that for as a bonus lab. I mean, as a bonus command, right? So to send it. Notice we sent a log message to the syslog server, right? But we don't have the date and time. We have to turn on those services. So you go back to global config mode. We say, what is it? Service timestamps. That's how you do it. And we do debug. And with the date and time, question mark, we can include milliseconds, all the stuff you can do, right? Press enter. Now let's do something like, I don't know, let's shut down some unused interfaces and see. Do show IP interface brief. Right now we have these that are admin down. Let's bring some up. Let's bring up VLAN 1. Let's bring up interface VLAN 1. So interface VLAN 1, no shut. Right? We have a level 5 message, link changed. VLAN, interface VLAN changed state to up. We'll go on the server, take a look at that bad boy. And there it is right there. There's those messages right there. Plus, we got the date and time this time. You see that? Isn't that pretty cool? And that is basically how Syslog works. I don't know. I wish there was a different way that he set up this lab, but that's pretty much what he did there. Y'all want to do something else? That was lab number 74. I think that's all he did here. It says logging using a level of 7 indicates that the device will send logs for all other levels. You know what? Let's do this. I wanted to show y'all something too. Let's put an extra power supply. I want to do something that's environmental. This router right here, or this switch right here, let's put in an extra power supply, right? Bloop. Check the CLI. You'll see we inserted another power supply. That's a level 6 message. What happens when you take it out, right? With a physical. Bloop. Remove that bad boy. Now we're only on 1 power supply. It's still a level 6 message. I thought it would have been a little bit deeper than that. I wanted to set something a little catastrophic here. I think you could change the interface. No, interface levels is level 5. I wanted something a little bit deeper than that. And that is not logging to this device, so you're not going to see that, I don't think. Yep, see? It's not in there. Could you set, how many power supplies does this guy got? He only got, he got a couple. He got a couple. But can we add another one? No, we can't add anymore. You can't even, you would have to actually turn off the router. Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's all we can do there. Let's see what he said here. Never mind that let me say yeah, I'm not too sure about that little tricky configuration you got going on there, man, but just my guess is to native VLAN tagging is only applied to frames coming in from an access port. Trunks carry multiple VLANs but would not tag untagged traffic. Yeah, I think that's correct, man. Native VLAN is for when you have, let's say you got a Cisco router and you have another router, like, I don't know, Aruba or something, or Juniper, right? And let's say it does not support, obviously it does not support ISL frames, right? ISL is Cisco proprietary. So if you want to send some VLANs and stuff like that to this other device that doesn't support ISL, guess what it's going to send that information through? Not the ISL VLAN tagging. It's going to send it to the native VLAN, so that way the other device can at least read those frames, so it doesn't drop it. So I don't know if that kind of helps answer your question, Adam. But yeah, I like that. Even though it's a little off topic, but like discussing things like that. If you don't know, we do have a Discord server, so if you want to talk about stuff that's a little off topic or whatever. SAP as in the AWS. Oh, we have SAP as in. Let me give y'all a link to the Discord server. Do you guys want to do one more lab? The next lab will be, what is it? Actually, the next lab is implementing QoS, and this one is a bit tougher. So, I don't think I'm going to do that one tonight. Implementing QoS, man. I'm going to need to review that one. Because they're going to have us set up some access. What do you have us do here? We create an access control list. Then he wants us to set create a policy map. I can't even remember that stuff, man. So I definitely need to review there. We'll probably go over that lab tomorrow, man. But here is a link to the Discord server in case you guys want to discuss some more. Adam, I know you, I guess you are, hold on, give me a second here. Working on something with multiple VLANs and stuff like that. Let me give you the link to the Discord server. Boop. That is the Discord server in case you guys want to discuss some more stuff offline, off stream, whatever. Next time you guys want to follow along, this is the tip. This is the lab guide that we typically lab from. 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this from 101labs.net. It is authored by this guy named Paul Browning. He was in IT for like several years, and then I'm sorry, he was in law enforcement for like several years. Then he opened up his own. He retired, got into IT, opened up his own training company and stuff like that. And then he started co-authoring these books with this guy named Farai Tafah, who is a double CCIE. That's like one of the highly regarded certifications you can get in IT. And experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but 90% of what we do. And that's why I like this book, because I am a hands-on type of learner. You know, I have to actually do things for these topics and stuff like that to stick. I can sit here and read a book. 15, 20 minutes later, I don't forget what I just read, you know, because of my comprehension. So that is why I like doing this stuff hands-on and stuff like that. Yeah, I do want to do another lab, but it says QoS. I can't even remember. I know QoS stands for quality of service, and basically what you want to do with that, it's used for, in case you want to prioritize some of your traffic. Let's say you got some applications, or you have a critical application, and you want your traffic to get priority over other applications, right? Let's say you have, I don't know, you work at a hospital system, and you have this critical application. We don't care what's going on with the traffic. If we're starting to lose some of our bandwidth from the ISP, or some of our services are hogging up some of the bandwidth, we want to make sure this application stays up. Well, with quality of service, we can use our, like throttle our, not necessarily throttle our traffic, but make sure that this application stays up using quality of service and stuff like that. So, and I guess that's what they're going to have us do in that next lab. So we'll go ahead and do that one tomorrow. I got to kind of review, do some review on class maps and stuff like that. They didn't even talk. This like, he just threw that topic up at us. But, yeah, y'all want me with that like button. If y'all like what y'all see, leave a comment down below. It looks like my stream is lagging over there. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Guess what that means? I need to do some quality of service, or QoS, on my laptop here. But anyways, for now, comment, like, subscribe. We are gonna be, remember, we typically stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Comment, like, subscribe to the network.